Alright, so what we're working on right now is I need to make the box for housing all the electronics. And so what I want to do is kind of lay out the electronics and how I think they're going to kind of be mounted. And then I'm going to take some measurements so that I can design my box in Aspire. I'm going to cut one of these boxes out where I just use the V-bits and I can make a box, and then I can cut off the back or whatever I need to do. So let me gather my stuff here, and this is stuff you've seen already. So I've got the button. The button needs to be out. I don't need this USB cable, but I'm going to need some kind of power in, and I can run that in whatever hole I make for this here. Alright, so I've got the display, and it needs to have, alright, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to have the front, right, with the display and the button, and then this area behind here is going to be for housing the Arduino, and then of course the box will have some depth to it, which I'll try and figure that out too. So I need this dimension, I need the button dimension, I need to know how much clearance I need for the Uno, and then I need to know how much space this is going to take up, how deep. So that's what I'm going to work out. So first, my display is going to need 2 13/16. Okay. So we're going to go here, 2 13/16 by 15/16. So almost an inch, almost 3 inches by 2 inches, which I could make it that, but I'm going to do it on the CNC machine so I can make it exact so that this fits perfectly inside. Okay, so that's going to be there. I'm not going to have the solderless breadboard because I'm going to wire everything up onto the this board here. So I'm not going to have the wireless breadboard, but the Uno is going to take up 3 inches by, we'll say 2 1/4. So we need 3 inches, 2 1/4 inches. Add to that a little bit of space, and then the almost 3 inches. Okay, so tall wise, I think 3 inches, well, that would be cutting it a little close. So height wise, I think if we go 3 1/2 inches, that leaves 1/4 inch on each side for, well, so let me think about this here, because I have to have these wires, the power supply coming in, so I want to maybe do, let's get that out of there. So I'm just trying to lay up some kind of, I could probably do something like this. Maybe the other way around, flip this guy so that the power can come through here. Okay, so that's roughly about what I want. And then we're looking at 4 inches. 4 inches by 7 inches should give me enough room. So we're going to go 4 inches by 7 inches. And we're going to lay this Arduino out this way, display up here, button here, and then we'll pull that power cable out, probably the bottom, somewhere over here. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. If you can even see that, if you even care. doesn't really matter. And then depth-wise, I need it. This button is going to be what takes up the most space, so I need at least 3 inches for that button. So we can go 3.5. We'll go 3.5. So my box will be 4 by 7 by 3.5, and that should work. Alright, so next we'll be at the computer, and I'll be designing this in Inspire, show you how to do that with the way I make these V-bit boxes. It's super easy to make a box that seamlessly goes together, and so far it's been the best looking box that I've been able to make. That's the easiest that I've been able to make. Like I could make box joints and things like that, but that's a pain to get the jig out and run all that. But these boxes look really good because they're kind of seamless on the edges. You don't see the end grain or anything. And so that's the way I'm going to make this box for this. And we're going to do it on the computer next. Alright, so here we are at the computer in Inspire, and I'm going to create a new file, and my box is going to be 4 inches by 7 inches by 3.5 inches. So I'm going to need 11 inches in height and 7, 10, 20 inches in width. And I'm going to use some 1/4 inch material. It doesn't have to be very thick-walled box. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is create my rectangle for the overall size of the front, which is going to be 4 by 7. Okay. And then I'm going to move this over here, create one that's 3.5 by 7. That's 3.5 by 4, sorry. Okay, and those are going to be my sides. And now you can snap to the edge. I'm going to copy and paste, snap this to that edge, and now I need to create the 4 by 3.5. Basically what I'm doing is making the box all the different sides. Okay, copy and paste that. We're going to grab it here and snap it there. That's good. Okay. Grab all of this. Make sure we're centered in our material. And then I need another one for the top. I'm going to go ahead and snap it to here. It looks like I need a little bit longer. I didn't do my math right, so I'm going to make it 22, make it by 12. I should be able to find some 12-inch wide or make some. Alright, so basically what this is a side and side and side and side and the front and then the back. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the rectangle for the display, and I said that was 2 13/16. So we're just gonna say that's 3 by 1, because I think that was pretty close, 3 inches by 1 inches. We're just gonna put it somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and make a box for the size of my Uno, which was 3.5 by 2.25. Okay, I'm pretty sure I said I was going to put this here. Alright, so the button needs 1 inch. So I'm just going to go a little bit bigger than 1 inch to make sure it fits in there without having to sand it. I'm going to go ahead and center these two to each other. And we're going to move them over just a hair. Okay, so now I'm going to have the plug, I think, either coming off of here, coming out of here. So we're just going to move this button down. Move that up. Move that up. We should be able to get it through over that. Maybe even wire tie it to the button so that everything stays. And then I'll have some room in here for the wires and breakout board and stuff. Right, so then I'm going to also make another hole here, which would be the bottom. We'll say 0.5 is probably good for that, to fit that wire through and my power cable through. Move it in a little bit. Actually, this probably needs to be moved in a little bit. And you'll see why once I cut it all out. Alright, so let's take a look real quick at what we're going to do for cutting out this stuff. So I'm going to pick this one and these, and this open. And we're going to cut the insides of this out with a, let's go with a 125 end mill. Say side. Some cutouts. Alright. And then everything else gets a V-bit carve on the actual line. Okay, so I'm not going to do this V-carve. I'm going to do a profile toolpath. I'm going to use my big V-bit, and I'm going to actually edit the passes. I want to take more passes than is necessary because I don't want this very aggressive bit, and so if I just let it chew through the entire thing, I'll have all kinds of tear out. So we're going to call this box joints. Oops. And we're going to be on the line. Okay, and we're going all the way through. Alright, so let's calculate. Let's preview all. So as you can see, this is a little close. This is definitely too close. That's going to be fine. But these things are going to fold onto each other and give me perfect 45-degree angle joints. And that might make more sense once I get to the machine and actually cut this out. Oh, I don't need to cut this one out. Sorry. Inside cutouts. I don't need this. This is just where this one's going to go. I need to make sure I don't overlap it. So let's move this one down and over a hair. This thing will have room here. And I suppose I could turn this if I had to give myself some room. Oops, that's wrong. Inside cutouts are going to be these two and this one. Let's reset preview, preview all. And these are getting cut out. And that's what it's going to look like from the front. And that has enough clearance now. Probably go ahead and push it over. Region. Looks pretty good. That's going to be just fine. Alright, so that's it for that one. We're going to export these tool paths. Inside cutouts. Save. I'm going to call this electronic project box. Alright, I'll put those on a memory stick and then I will see you at the machine. Alright, so here we are at the machine, and I'm going to load up a piece of plywood that I have and get this box cut out. That should be enough to hold it. Alright, and I already have my 1/8" bit loaded in here. I just got to zero it, and I'll probably use my bricks to help hold down some of this plywood. And we got a 0. Again, I like to 0 on the bed of the machine, so that way I know I'm going all the way through. And I don't actually 0. I set that negative the thickness of my material, or at least the thickness that I've programmed the material to be. Let's double check. Yeah, 250. I'm going to 0 off of this screw I just put, so I could probably go in a little bit. It's not going to hurt. So we'll 0 and start my spindle. Get my safety glasses. There. And start. Now first it's going to cut out the holes in the inner stuff. so I got my V-bit loaded. The big thing you have to think about is you have to get a deep enough V-bit that when it makes it all the way through the material, it's still cutting on the V, because you need that 45-degree angle all the way through the material. And so if you have this is a 1/2 inch, and so this 1/2 inch goes 1/4 inch deep. I've also got a giant V-bit that I use for 3/4 inch material, but I'm not going to pull that out for this one. I'm also going to zero this one on the surface of the material because I want to take light cuts, and if it doesn't go all the way through, that's actually okay. Alright, so that is right there. We're going to zero the Z. We're going to load my G code for my box joints, which they're not really box joints, I just call them box joints. They're more like 45-degree angle joints, but I'm going to start our bit. Alright, I'm going to give you a closer look here. Let's get a closer look at what's going on. Alright, so now assembling, we have to make sure we have the sides right. So this is the front and the back. Okay, so that's going to go there, that's going to go there, this is going to go here, a side here, and a side here, and then the top will be the last piece. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to flip this over. So this one can flip straight over, this one has to go over here. So basically I'm assembling this upside down, right? Okay. Actually, is that right? Yeah, it's gotta be right. Make sure this edges are flat together. And I'm gonna put a piece of tape on it. Okay, make sure these edges are flat. Push them together, like, you know, push them together. Make sure it's level from top to bottom. Use tape on it. Alright, same thing with the top and the bottom. Gotta make sure it's level, even. Gotta make sure it's even, squish them together. I'm gonna put 2 pieces of tape on this one. One here, and one on the other side. Okay. Easy, easy. Gotta make sure it's pushed together nice and tight. Same with the front. Make sure it's even. 2 pieces of tape. Alright, so now when I turn this over, it'll stay together. I'll put some glue in the joints, and then all I'll have to do is fold it up like so. Put some more tape on it, right? Put the top on, put some tape on it, and then I've got a box. Alright, so let's get some glue on there. Okay, now I need to glue the sides as well. Okay, and you can rub it together or whatever, but I don't really care. I'm going to clean this glue after it's done. So we're going to do one side at a time. I'm going to go ahead and get some tape ready. So this guy comes up, this guy comes up, this guy comes up. And we're just going to tape it. So that it stays. Okay. Clean this mess. And now the top. Now I probably could clean the glue right now. I'm not going to do that just because I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut the back off anyway after it's all glued, and I should be able to scrape that glue off. I'm going to sand the edges, so I'm not really worried about that. Alright, so we're going to glue these little frilly things off. Glue around the entire top. And plop the top in. Put some tape on it. Now I'm just going to tape one side. Make sure. And tape the other side. Kind of pulling it a little tight. This side up just a hair, nice and tight. This side can come up a little bit, so I'm just trying to get this sides all even now. Like this side here can come up just a hair, so I'm going to squeeze it, put my tape on it nice and tight so it tries to hold it. Okay, squeezing this together and then putting the tape on nice and tight should hold that edge. Because it's 45 degrees, holding 45 degrees. Just give a quick look before it all dries. Alright, and that's it. Now we wait for that to dry. And once that's dry, we will cut it off, and I'll show you that. But basically what I'm going to do is, I want this to be the front, and I want it to be seamless, so I'm going to cut off the back on the bandsaw through here, so that I have a back piece that comes off, and I can get to the electronics on the inside. And then what I'll do is I'll put a little piece of wood on the inside where I cut it. Alright, let's wait for that to dry. Alright, so here we are, we're about to take the tape off. The glue should be well dry by now. So just peel the tape off. Alright, here we have a nice solid box. Once I've done sanding, you won't see any of the edges. It'll be like just a solid little box. Alright, so here we are at the bandsaw. I need to make sure I can fit it under there. And I need to cut off the back here. So I think I'm going to do it from the front side. Now the wood I have is 0.25, and I don't want to take off a lot more than the 0.25. Like, I don't want to take off a half an inch. I just want to have like a sliver of it. So I don't think I want to put too much. So I'm thinking a half inch will give me just a little bit of a lip that I can put some kind of guide board in, and that way when I put it on, it'll just close. And then I'll either put some little screws or something else. I'm not sure yet. But let's get those cut off and see. Let's go half inch. And the nice thing is it's not exact science. Push this thing through and see what we get. Alright, so we have a box for the electronics. This is going to be the lid on the back. And that's it. Let's clean up the inside. Let's see how this display goes. I'm just going to go ahead and unwire it. Alright. And that'll be fine. So it's pretty much at the edge inside. There, so I'll probably just keep it like that. So that'll work. Everything all good. Good enough, put it in. And then we're going to disconnect all the wires. And Yeah, so I'll have options. I can either, let's see if I can show you here. Okay, so I could either, I'm not going to be using the USB, but I need this power adapter to be able to run that cable over there. So I could even have it here. I should have it on this side here, so I could run that power adapter here and not have anything at all here. So I probably could have made it a little bit smaller, or I could do it like this, but then I'm afraid that that plug will be bent. So what I kind of want to do is have it like this or like this, and I'll probably go with this, so that way I can wire everything sitting up like this, and I'll have plenty of room in here for all those wires to live. Alright, so that's what I'm thinking. Alright, so the next step is to actually start to mount these inside of here. So I'm going to get little standoffs and mount this on little standoffs. This one needs some little screws or standoffs to hold it in place, and so I'll do that next.